Hello guys. Welcome to Diablo the Primordial. This video is the continuation video after a new enemy. So if you guys have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description. And please check out my second channel Top Anime Sensei for the light novel of Tensura. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates. However, a problem is still a problem. I ordered Diablo's subordinates to move and resolve the problem. Please leave it to me, Rimuru-sama. Diablo bowed to me reverently and put the order into practice. Although, he just ordered Moss to move the subordinates, probably it will be Venom or someone nearby. Diablo himself didn't seem to have any desire to move from my side. Oh well, it's fine. With such feeling, I continued my observation. The world movement has stopped. Someone seems to have invoked suspended world. Seal informed a warning. Kufufufu. This scale of the suspended world is not just several seconds, perhaps. Is it Velda or Velzard? Velda in the present situation didn't have a reason to stop time. Most likely, it's Velzard. That might be so. Even if Guy had the ability to stop time, it wouldn't be strange, but he has no reason to use it. Chloe would not stop time for a long time like this, or rather, it's meaningless. Because if the opponent could move inside the stopped world, it would just wasted energy. There's no meaning for stopping time for a long time if she couldn't find some kind of superiority in it. Anyway, by making that its natural face, so you can move in that world too, Diablo. Kufufufu. Of course, Rimuru-sama. It might be still impossible for Benimaru, if it's Zijin possibly. Ho, ho ho. Even though I was able to do this just the other day. While I didn't realize it, my subordinates seemed to display a surprising growth. What shall I do? Shall I go and help Chloe Ju? Then, I was pondering, even if he went there, transferring would be dangerous. It's also difficult to grasp the situation inside the stopped world. Because light stopped inside too, my surveillance magic was also useless. Transferring there without understanding the situation would be suicidal. Naturally, the reports from Moss had also stopped. Although moving inside might be possible, it was impossible to contact each other. If it became so, flying there was the quickest way, but it would take 1 hour, when I was thinking so. There's a movement. Velgrind seems to have entered the war. Seal, who observed the situation, told me that. Immediately after that, the stopped time began to flow. Apparently Velgrind seemed to have neutralized the stopped world. Rimuru-sama, it seems to be one of Velzard-sama's ability after all. Just now, a report came from Moss. How's the situation? Velgrind-sama has started a combat with Velzard-sama. Both in dragon mode, it seems to be a real fight. Kufufufu. Like this, even for someone like me, it's a dangerous situation. I see, a full power battle, wasn't it? That's extremely dangerous. A wise man stays away from danger. As for Guy and Chloe, they would be able to continue their act safely while leaving the combat area skillfully. Alright, then continue the observation. As you wished. Then, let's begins the creation of monitoring system that can be used even in suspended world. Yes. If it's possible. Oh well, if it's Seal Sensei, everything was possible. At that time, situation of various places were once again projected by the surveillance magic. A surprising spectacle was shown. Dagruel had shown his fangs. Xian was knocked down by one blow. Ruminez had recovered, but if things keep going as it is, defeat is clear. I stood up hurriedly, but there's no problem. Please do not interfere. I was calmed down by Ciel's calm voice. Certainly. My friend whom I trusted the most, I remembered to turn to her for assistance. On a closer look, she seemed to have done something secretly as I didn't notice. But, will it be really alright? It will be alright, probably. My friend whom I trusted the most. It seems the confidence from Seal Sensei was also tremendous. Probably. I felt that this was the first time I heard this word from her. Even while being uneasy for some reason, I cancelled my urge to go to help for a moment. Until Velda is caught, it will be useless if I didn't hide myself. Besides, if it's not in stopped world, even in the worst case, I could go to help with transfer. I decided that I would wait here and believe in them. In the worst case, Diablo, you will go to help her. Please leave it to me. However, I think that would be unnecessary. I hoped so. While worrying, I gazed at the projected scene. Chapter 216. Versus Dagruel. This might be impossible. That's the honest impression of the demon lord Ruminez Valentine. Her plan was to kill Dagruel using her strongest technique in the first attack, but it had no effect. With Death's blessing, the life and death reversing technique, Dagruel should have died. However, the result was that the instant death effect was nullified, and Rumina's secret technique was defeated. At that time, Ruminaz was able to partly foresee that thing would proceed this way. The one-on-one fight between Albert and Grassword continued. Both of them didn't even take a step back, it's seemingly an even fight. However, when the fight between the two was observed with ultimate skill lustful Lord Asmodeus, the situation shows a different outlook. Against Grassword, who's a mass of energy, Albert was distributing energy into every important point of his body. The decrease of their vitality was insignificant, but the difference in the aggregate amount gave hint of the outcome of the battle. In other words, before Albert finished to cut down Grassword, the outcome will be decided. Albert's defeat, that was the situation would be. However, no one could criticize Albert. Rather, with his wonderful skill, he was fighting evenly against the Sword King. If the difference of the energy was not taken into consideration and only the sword techniques matters, it can be said that Alberto's superior. However, even so, the situation didn't change. The way things are going right now, Albert's defeat was just a matter of time. On the other side, the battle between Adelman and Fen also growing intense. The young man with black hair who wears the jet black-colored priest clothes against the skinny, small giant who wielding Gleipnir. Adelman had possessed and combined with the death dragon Wenti, and his energy has increased greatly. However, even so, the difference was obvious as Fen who is in front of Adelman can rival a true dragon. For Ruminaz who can see vitality in numerical form, the differences were despair-inducing. Against Fen who's called both the fighting god and fist god, for Adelman to be able to survive this far was a miracle. In the flurry of throwing, punching, and joint locks, it was obvious that physical strike was the main constituent. Joint locks were meaningless, since for a spiritual life form, physical damage would completely recovered in an instant. He just barely able to modify the technique to perform a throwing technique to deal and blow away the opponent. However, in the end, that technique was for defending. Adelman couldn't expect Fen to be damaged by the throw. In other words, he just stalling for time. After Adelman understands his own disadvantage, he was fighting with the objective of exhausting the enemy by a long period of combat and not aiming for victory. However, even so, he was concentrating so hard like he was treading on thin ice. In Rumina's sight, she could see Adelman's appearance who ward off Fen's attack by casting away all of his defense and manipulated his energy to concentrate it on a point. In order to cover the difference of the energy density, Adelman was fighting by concentrating all of his power on one point. It was already such ability that could be called as a miracle. However, it won't continue more longer. Ruminaz thought that it wouldn't take a long time for Adelman to lose. And then, Xian. The woman who fighting against Dagruel and standing up many times in front of him. Her appearance reminded Ruminaz of the hero Chloe who saved her in the past. Blood flows out from her head without any sign of stopping. Even the wound in her whole body bore new wounds after recovering. Xian's attack couldn't touch Dagruel. She was mortally injured due to Dagruel's counterattack. Even so, Xian stood up. She kept challenging Dagruel over and over. "Ah, Nei-san. Please stop it already. Xian-sama, you can't win against our pops. It's dangerous. As it is right now, Xian-sama will." Even Dagruel's sons were flustered at first. However, they broke through their hesitation mid-battle and, "You. Pops, we will be your opponents. There's no other way. I'm prepared for it. I'll do it. And then, I'll get praised." Exactly as stated in their determination, they went to face Dagruel. And right now, they were barely alive bearing serious injury, lying on the ground while being powerless to stand up. Those three were strong as Majins, that's why they were alive. However, that's all? In front of Dagruel's absolute strength, it was all useless. This is impossible, right? There's no reason that we can win. Even I only able to go this far, huh? To Ruminaz's ear who reached the stage of resignation partly. "Princess, the preparation for the retreat was complete." Such whispered voice was heard. The 7 celestial sages, who command the raid seems to have advanced the preparation for a concealed transfer secretly. They have judged that there's no chance for victory in this war and likely to have made their safety a priority. Certainly. That's right, certainly, if she was the Ruminaz from before, she would withdraw without any hesitation. Such thing as going to war with no chance of winning was nonsense. The country can be rebuilt, it wasn't something she need to be concerned with. Ruminas and her kin has eternal life, there's no reason for them to fight betting their life on it. However, will I be really fine? Will it be a correct action for me to withdraw from this place? Ruminas hesitated. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched my earlier videos, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And please check out my other channel Top Anime Sensei for the light novel of Tensura. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.